Hello, church. This is Derek Clark, and I've got your devotional for today. So, a few weeks ago, Pastor Jerry wrapped up a sermon series on Revelation, and he mentioned Revelation 21:21, which describes the gates of New Jerusalem like this. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls, each of the gates made of a single pearl. And a few years ago, when I attended Bible Study Fellowship, or BSF, Revelation was the book that we covered one of the years. And when we got to this passage, I remember the teaching leader making a pretty interesting point that I'd never really thought of before. He made a connection between the use of pearls in the construction of New Jerusalem and the process required to make pearls. And in case you're not familiar with pearl production, they're formed inside of oysters when a foreign object like a grain of sand or a piece of shell or something gets stuck inside of the oyster. This foreign object winds up irritating the mantle, one of the internal organs of the oyster. So it starts covering the debris in layer after layer of a mineral called nacre in order to protect itself. It's coating this object. So the longer the object or the oyster goes through this irritation process, the more layers of nacre are added and the larger the pearl gets. So as part of the decoration and construction of this New Jerusalem, God decided to use pearls for each gate, and not just a bunch of pearls glued together with, of course, the finest gold or silver. No, each gate is a single pearl, so they have to at least be big enough for someone to walk through, if not much larger, based on the dimensions of the rest of the city. The question posed during BSF was, how much of an irritant or how much of a trial must have been needed to create pearls of such immense size, and 12 of them at that. Pearls are obviously beautiful, and they fit right in with the other precious stones and jewels used in the New Jerusalem. But in a way, they're symbols of hardship and suffering due to the way they're formed. Yet stopping at that thought would kind of miss the point of the pearls. They aren't just a symbol of hardship and suffering, but perseverance through hardship and suffering. As the hardship continues, the oyster perseveres. It continues to add protection, and the eventual result is beautiful. So natural pearls are some of the most expensive, sought-after treasures in the world because they're so rare. Similar to pearls, it can sometimes be difficult or rare to find a person that suffers well. Someone who goes through a trial and comes out more beautiful on the other side. This is true of Christians and non-Christians alike. So, as Christians, how do we get better at dealing with trials? How do we grow in resilience and beauty by going through these hard times? Well, one way is to understand that the price of wisdom is above pearls, as it says in Job 28:18. Pearls are pricey, but wisdom is priceless. Every trial is an opportunity to learn more about ourselves and, more importantly, learn more about God. Job, who I talked about a couple devotionals back, he was being tested. We learned that he was one resilient dude. He went through unimaginable agony and still refused to curse God. Because of his unbelievable love for and devotion to God, he withstood each test, each irritant, and was found faithful. Through Job's story, we also learned more about who God is. Remember when God finally addressed Job after he and his friends were talking for so long? And God explained in vivid detail exactly who he is and why he has ultimate authority over all things. When we learn that and stay focused on that, we gain true wisdom to help get us through future trials. So after the gates of New Jerusalem are described as these giant pearls, John goes on to describe the gates in Revelation 21:27, saying that nothing unclean will ever enter it, nor anyone who does what is detestable or false, but only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. We know from the Gospel of John that Jesus describes himself as the gate for the sheep, and he says, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. So perhaps the 12 pearls that make up the 12 gates are supposed to symbolize and point us to Jesus. We can only meet the necessary qualifications to pass through those pearl gates by following Jesus, because he's the one who gave his life as a ransom for ours. So, when you're facing a difficult situation, remember these biblical pearls of wisdom. Find comfort in knowing that God is helping to turn you into a beautiful pearl. The bigger the irritant, the bigger the pearl. The bigger the trial, the bigger the reward. I hope this finds you well, and God bless.